Jasmine Kane, and you're watching
The Sound Effect.
Yeah, baby.
That was so fun.
And we are back. Welcome
How's
to another
everybody doing
show. Thank
That
you
was
for
fun.
watching. Appreciate you. I'm Todd T. Riley.
I'm Scott Johnston.
And I'm Michelle Bench Novak.
And we
And
are
The Sound Effect.
We got a little sound effect going on over there. I left the mic on, or the speaker on, rather, on the computer. You hear it?
Yeah, it's like a slap back delay. I don't know
Little
if that's going to create
echo.
trouble.
All right.
All I know is, hey, it's been a couple weeks since you guys have seen us. You might notice that we got a little upgrade here
as you
for
can
the
see,
studio.
there's a few changes here in the studio at Bake More Pies. I think it looks pretty cool.
I took it upon myself to take all the money that I make from the show, and I just donate it directly to everything here. So once we were done with that, that's when they put the rest of it up, because the Christmas branch didn't cut it.
I just did one less shopping excursion, and it went there, you know? That's what it is.
That's too funny.
That's what it is.
So Doug's not here tonight, but we want to give him a shout out. Thanks for all you do, Doug. We appreciate you, and happy birthday, bro. Hope you're having a great one. Also, happy birthday to Scott. His was last week.
Yeah, you guys can still send me gifts just in case you forgot, or just get me what you got me last year, because I'm probably expecting that anyway. So that's cool.
You know what? I'm feeling much cuter with this backdrop, because I got to tell you, I'm looking at our live Facebook feed, and you guys, we're like glowing.
Glowing.
We're glowing.
You know I am glowing.
I just assume you guys always
Do I? I don't know if I want to know why he's glowing. Uh-oh, we're getting warmed up. You know, Scott and I were discussing this earlier, Todd, and our goal every show is to make Todd shake his head at the stuff that we say.
Todd's like, no, that's one head shake away from disaster.
Shaking the head with Michelle.
That's right. That's what you do right there.
So we have in the studio with us tonight a local boy, a little southern flair for you this evening. We have Tommy Roxx from the Tommy Roxx Band. Welcome to the show,
Thank
brother.
you for having
Yeah.
me.
Excited to have
Appreciate
Tommy on
you
here.
being here,
I'm a
man.
fan of the band. Yeah, I think it's great.
Bay Area legend.
That's right.
Bay Area legend.
Push the right. There you go.
Keeping
man.
that
Right
Southern
button.
rock alive right here in the Tampa Bay area.
Was it number 3 missing
Thank you,
today?
thank you.
Number 4 is the overhead.
Oh, well, thanks for telling me.
I did tell you. We were running downstairs looking for
Oh,
the
okay. I'll blame
iPad.
that on Doug.
Yeah, it's Doug's fault.
It's Doug's fault. 'cause
Anything
he's
that
not
happens
here.
tonight that's
You know,
bad,
Doug's
it's
fault.
Doug's
Yeah.
fault.
We say that in our band.
But if it goes good,
Doug Lips. That's
if it
right.
goes good, you're welcome.
Yeah.
And there we come. Okay,
Yeah.
we lost
So-
the
Well,
lip
it was
thing.
Doug's fault.
It's Doug's fault.
Yeah.
It's not Doug Lips. Our Doug.
Yeah. So don't forget to get your vote in on our social media poll this week on Facebook. And what we're looking at here is, what side project did you feel was best from an established band? And that's a Winery Dogs and 6 a.m. So we got time to still get your votes in on that, and
Yeah, a little bit of time still.
yeah, go from there, and then all of us can weigh in on that and share with you what we got. So,
Indeed.
with that said, I got a moving mic.
What are you doing over there?
I'm not.
What
doing
the
much.
hell
Look
is
at
he
this.
doing
Look
over
at
there?
this.
It's got a mic of its own.
Yeah.
Adjust it, man.
All
I
right.
think it liked you. Did you
I
notice
wanna
I made
know
him
why.
pause? Did you
Yeah.
see me make him pause? That's what I did.
I can't speak into the microphone after knowing it likes me like that. I don't want to give it the wrong idea.
Do you feel violated right now?
Not exactly. But I could violate the microphone in at least 3 different ways I can think of right now.
I can't even get that
Let's
visual out of my
not.
brain right now. I'm a little disturbed.
Todd,
Just
I
letting
did not
everybody
I
know.
need that visual.
Well, okay.
Let's get
So what
into
do you
some.
guys talk about for the 15 minutes of the show?
Let's get into
Mic
some
placement.
music and entertainment news. Hey.
All right.
All right.
So what we got for news?
So a few days ago, on June 20th, we mentioned this a little while back. David Gilmour of Pink Floyd auctioned off 127 guitars from his collection, raising a total of $21.5 million.
Jeez.
Isn't that unbelievable?
That
That's
is
a lot of money for 127
unreal.
guitars.
You know how many
Unreal.
offers I sent him at like, here's a buck?
Yeah,
I didn't win a damn thing.
I know. The auction took place at Christie's in New York and set several world records for sales of guitars. First among these was the Black Strat, the 1969 Fender Strat that Gilmour used on every single Pink Floyd album from The Dark Side of the Moon all the way up until the final cut. It was the last instrument sold on the day and went for $3.975 million, which Christie says is the highest price a guitar has sold for at an auction. And I would not be a bit surprised to find out it is the highest price that any guitar has ever sold for.
Jeez.
I mean, you're talking $4 million for a guitar. That's crazy.
That's
But
too
you're
much.
talking about a major piece of history, too. Music history, you know.
Would you ever do something like that?
If I had that kind of money to throw around and buy things at that price, I would buy that guitar because
Okay.
the tones and the guitar licks in that album are epic.
Another, what's really they're like a jam band. I mean, a lot of the songs that they're writing, they're improvising.
Yeah.
Which is, we've had experience in our bands, and I'm sure you've done it before too. It's like that's like from the heart.
Right.
So yeah, they had some cool stuff. Really
Yeah,
cool
no
stuff.
question about that. Two other guitars that they had broke the $1 million mark in 1954 pre-production White Strat with gold parts and serial number 0001. And I would have thought that guitar would have gone for an enormous amount because it's a pre-production and it's number one, First one.
very first
Very
one
first
made.
one ever. That went for $1.815 million. And also 1969 Martin D35 acoustic, in which Gilmour has said he has written most of the songs. Its sale price $1.095 million. That bests the previous record for Martin, which was $791,500 for 1939 000-42 that had belonged to Eric Clapton. Another
Oh, that's
Martin,
really cool.
yeah, another Martin acoustic, which is a D12 28 12 string that was used on "Wish You Were Here" and "Hey You" went for $531,000. The auction also set a new record for a price for a Gibson Les Paul 1955 Gold Top, in which Gilmour played the solo for "Another Brick in the Wall" Part 2. It sold for $447,000, and his 1984 Candy Apple Red Strat, that was his main guitar between 1988 and 2005, raised $615,000. Now, here's the coolest part of the whole thing. This blows me away. You're talking $21.5 million all total. Dave Gilmour is donating all the proceeds from the auction to Client Earth, which is a global organization that defines itself as a charity that uses the power of the law to protect the planet and the people who live on it. Of his donation, Gilmour said the global climate crisis is the greatest challenge that humanity will ever face, and we need a civilized world that goes on for all our grandchildren and beyond, in which these guitars can be played and songs can be sung. So
That's really cool. I mean,
That's
that's
super
a hell of a lot of money, obviously. You know what I mean? To donate it for a cause like that is pretty,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. That's pretty
It's
cool.
an incredible thing to do with those guitars because what's he going to do with them other than that? He's had them all this time.
Right.
And now it's time to make them really special to the world.
Absolutely. I mean, obviously, any collector that's into stuff like that, I mean,
Right.
obviously is going to pay for it.
You imagine having a few friends over and you're just hanging out on your couch, having a couple of drinks, and you go, yeah, see that guitar on the wall? Yeah, that's the one that he played in Dark Side of the Moon.
See, the thought that I had as you started the story was like, the guitar on the wall, having a party, look up, and it's not there.
Thought so.
Oh.
Because some
You went dark.
Junkie boys in the corner going, look at this, Stairway to Heaven. It's like going, no, that's $1 million guitar. Don't even touch it. Don't even touch it.
There, brother.
So cool. So do you want to? So what I would like to talk to you about is a little bit about Mick Jagger. Mick Jagger. They postponed their No Filter tour, North American tour. He had heart surgery. I mean, that was a big thing with that. They kicked off their summer tour on June 21st. So I mean, they just got going. Performance in Soldier Field, Chicago. Now, they did have to shake off some some understandable early show bugs. I mean, sound issues. Just your regular stuff. I mean, Yeager basically admitted. He said, we're kind of we hack it our first couple nights through. And I guess they proved it by not introducing their keyboard player.
What'd you call him, Yeager?
Yeah. I'm Jägermeister.
Yeah, Mick
Jägermeister.
Mick Yeager.
Mick Jägermeister. Hey, you can tell where my mind's at.
Next time I'm out, I'm going to ask for a Jagger bomb.
Yeah.
Jagger bomb, yeah.
I'll flip it.
And you're like, you don't want to do that.
like,
It's
huh?
going to give you a heart attack.
I got the moves like Jagger.
All right, look at that.
So, so the Stones had originally scheduled touring around April for the release of their Honk compilation album. I mean, the band was forced to postpone, just like I was saying before, for the fact that, hey, you got heart problems. You're going to have to take a little time out for that. You do what you need to do. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, the Stones haven't released an album, and it's been since like 2005.
Yeah.
I mean,
Been a little while.
It's been a while. But I mean, not to say they haven't had a lot of stuff that they've been doing, but for the most part, I mean, that's what they, this is what they got. Keith Richards was suggesting a new Stones LP could come out sometime in 2019. So, obviously he was right.
Yeah.
That would have been the guy I would have figured would have had the heart attack or something.
55 years later.
Yeah. I mean, you figure with all the jokes that we've made about guys having birthdays, we kind of pick on those guys a little bit.
A little bit.
Wow.
Still
They're getting
able to
up
get it
there in
done.
age.
Yeah.
Still
From what
able to
I
get it
understand, I saw a thing online, man. It's Jagger is still quite active even after having the heart surgery. He's up there jumping around and running around on stage,
Yeah.
like he
That's
always
it.
has. So,
He's kept it up.
yeah, it's pretty good.
That's
Impressive,
crazy.
yeah.
Got to give him
Right.
some major kudos for that.
All right, guys. So I apologize. I was having a little bit of a technical issue. So Skid Row guitarist Dave Snake Sabo? Sabo. I never can get that. Sorry, Dave. Anyway, he has confirmed that the band is just about done. No, they're not just about done. They're almost done recording the final chapter of the United World Rebellion trilogy, which will tentatively be released in early 2020. The disc is being tracked at Nashville studio. They're using famed producer Michael Wagner, who also helmed the group's 1989 self-titled debut and 1991 Slave to the Grind. It'll mark its first release with South African-born British-based vocalist ZP Dragon Force Tank IMI, who joined the band in 2016 following the departure of Tony Harnell, TNT Starbreaker. I love Tony Harnell, but I've seen Skid Row recently, and he does a great job. So kudos to both of them. Skid Row's new album, which will be made available through Australia's Golden Robot Records, will feature collaborations with several outside songwriters, including Corey Taylor, Slipknot, Stone Sour, and Lizzie Hale and Joe Hodinger of Hailstorm. Skid Row also worked with songwriter for hire Marty Fredrickson, who had previously collaborated with Aerosmith and Def Leppard, Johnny Lang, and Sheryl Crow. This past January, Rhino
Good
released a
collaboration.
30th anniversary remastered digital reissue of Skid Row's quintuple platinum 1989 debut album. That's,
I was waiting
you guys,
for you to get to that.
I just got to say this, you guys.
5 million.
I got back from Vegas at 6:30 yesterday morning, and I went shopping at Walmart at that time, and I am a little jet lagged. So just bear with me. So that album featured the hits Youth Gone Wild. That's actually my favorite Skid Row song.
Is it?
18 in Life and I Remember You. This reissue also includes Forever, a B-side that was recorded during the sessions for the album that previously appeared on the 1998 Greatest Hits compilation, 40 Seasons, The Best of Skid Row, and a 10-track live performance recorded on April 26, 1989 at the Marquee in Westminster, California.
You know what I always thought was really cool about Youth Gone Wild? I think it was the most creative way for a band to ever put their name into a song.
It was a great song. It was a great song. And,
Yeah, during that,
Avenue
everything
is
stopped.
just Skid Row.
right. Now we've got two great versions of Skid Row. Well, we have Sebastian Bach solo, and then we have Skid Row, the band, which tours out. So good. Both of them very good. Different and both really good. So I've seen both.
Indeed.
Indeed.
Indeed. This week in history, June 24th, 1958, Nina Simone released her debut jazz album, Little Girl Blue. And June 25th,
She needed the money.
1964.
I'm sorry.
Had to go there, didn't you?
I know that was so stupid, but I did it.
Why am I not surprised by these things? I'm just saying.
Oh, geez. June 25th, in 1964.
He's a mess, man. He's such
WMCA in New York City played the Beatles' Hard Day's Night album 10 days prior to its scheduled release date. They decided to release it the very next day on June 26th because of that. You know, back in the day, radio had the power to do that. They would do just that. They would take albums and release songs and put stuff out there, but it's kind of changed.
Yeah, they're not in control anymore.
It's changed. 1966, another Beatles thing. The Paperback Writer single goes #1 and stayed #1 for 2 weeks in 1967. First global satellite television program, Our World, broadcast featuring 19 acts representing 19 nations, including the Beatles, singing All You Need Is Love. And this one I think is actually rather awesome. In 1984, Prince released his iconic Purple Rain album.
I loved
which,
that album.
In my opinion, is by far the best album he ever did. What a
I loved that
phenomenal
album. It was amazing.
A lot of
Love
people
the
like
album,
Prince
love
that
the
you wouldn't even
movie.
think like Prince.
I love Prince.
You know, back then I really wasn't into Prince. I thought he was all right and stuff. But my girlfriend talked me into going to the movie, and I walked away a huge fan.
That's funny. My
Huge
high school
fan.
boyfriend and I used to listen to Prince and Hall & Oates.
All
That was our band.
Bonnie and
That was our jam.
Quarter Flash, and Supertramp. You know, he used to practice like three blocks from my high school, and I never went and checked it out.
Who was it?
Prince.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
So
wow.
I'm
Do you,
kicking myself a little bit now, but
do you know, my sister and I went to Northeast High School, and she graduated several years before me because I'm the much younger, nicer sister. That's a thing that we do to each other. So anyway, Carla, this is for you. So her class of 1982, they actually won this Wrigley gum competition where they had to do save all these wrappers.
Oh, wow.
And Hall & Oates played at Northeast High School in the auditorium for them and did a concert.
that's really cool.
Yeah.
That's very
You
cool.
mentioned they were saving rappers.
Like,
There's a lot of rappers you can't save. There's no way in hell.
Help
I don't
me,
care if
please.
you can write songs for them. It's not gonna work. Okay.
yeah, I'm talking about gum rappers. Gum rappers.
He's
It
talking
is
about
not
dumb
easy
rappers.
being me here.
So in June 26, 1870, Richard Wagner's opera Valkyrie, second in his Ring cycle, premiered in Munich, featuring Ride of the Valkyries. All I can think of whenever I hear that is Apocalypse Now. In 1977, Elvis Presley sings in Indianapolis, and that would be the last performance of his career. Sadly.
Unbelievable.
I loved Elvis. So we're going to talk about some famous birthdays. That's right. June 24th, 1944, singer-guitarist Jeff Beck.
Really?
Happy birthday to him.
No
I
doubt.
didn't know I shared his birthday.
Thanks
Yeah.
for taking me to see him. When I
Yeah.
hadn't seen him before, I was very impressed.
Yeah, me too.
Very impressed.
That's right. And 1947, drummer Mick Fleetwood of Fleetwood Mac. Also,
You see the Mac or the Fleetwood?
I have no idea. Also, Tommy Roxx, Bay Area legend, had a birthday right here in the studio. Happy birthday to Tommy.
Birthday, Tommy.
That's right. June 25th, 1963, singer, songwriter, and pop superstar George Michael. And sadly, we lost George Michael in 2016, as everyone knows. 1972, bassist Mike Kroger, is that how you say it?
Yep,
of
probably.
Nickelback. And I don't know why everyone disses Nickelback. I'm just
they
going
were
to say
crazy.
this here. Personally, I like
I don't either.
You
Nickelback.
can diss them all you want.
I'm
but
throwing
when
it
they're
out there.
cashing their check, I don't think they
You know,
really care.
I see a lot
And
of
they had a
stuff where
sound.
people
They had a good
diss
sound.
Nickelback a lot, but
You heard
I,
the same thing about Creed, but I happen to like both
I like
those
Creed
bands.
too, actually.
I think they were both excellent bands.
Yeah, I like them too.
It's kind of funny that people would diss them so much, but yet both of them were so hugely popular.
Right? I mean, their concerts sell out. They have
Right.
many, many hit albums. So it's really crazy, right?
I don't
I
get
think
it.
it's like a guilty pleasure that people don't want to actually admit that they listen to it.
Right.
Kind of like New Kids on the Block. Everyone's like, oh, I never liked them. Yeah, you did.
I saw you at the concert.
I saw you. Got the right stuff, baby. Right there. Right there.
And of
So-
course, happy birthday to Doug today as well.
Oh, yes. Doug, happy birthday. We miss you. I posted on his timeline. I had to do that for Doug when I saw that today. So happy birthday to Doug. So, yeah, he shouldn't be here today on his birthday.
Yeah, I wasn't here last
I think he
Tuesday for my
should.
birthday, but then again, we didn't have a show.
Okay, then. Well, happy birthday to Scott.
I appreciate it.
Belated.
You guys can send me a personal message. You know, I can give you routing numbers or whatever you need. And then,
You can send money right on Facebook now.
That's right. You can. You can send
Okay.
requests for money, too. Send, please.
my PayPal.
Send money.
You can send like a request in the messenger. Please send $100, and people can actually do it. Is that crazy?
Yeah, and
Yeah, no, I
soon there'll
think
be the
it's really cool
Facebook
until-
cryptocurrency.
Yeah, I mean, they always have this like donation thing, but you know, how come I can't be on there?
Be on what? The donation thing?
Yeah, you know, Scott's trying to raise money for himself
Do you really need to ask us why? Why ask why? There you go.
because I spent most of my life being a musician. And most of you people know that I've invested in probably something that should have gotten out of sooner. But
Is that yourself?
no, you know, all the whole music career. I mean, you know,
Was that 8-track tapes?
yeah, it just didn't really work very good. You know, four-track tapes. I made it up. That far.
Whoa. So June 26, 1955, Mick Jones, vocalist and guitarist of The Clash.
Yeah.
1956, singer-songwriter Chris Isaak. That was a sexy video he had.
We're talking about the Cars, right?
Chris
something
Isaac?
game.
Dude, I don't even know who he is. 'cause
No,
I'm
he
just
did that.
Really tired right
he
now.
did that song, I Don't Want to Fall in Love.
You play.
Yeah, Wicked Game. Wicked
Wicked
Game.
Game.
Make me
With the chick
feel
on the
this
beach.
way.
Todd's serenading me over here. Look at that. Look at that. So anyway, happy
now
birthday.
now I feel
Like very
bad
much.
Why do you feel bad? Because you didn't know who it was?
because I thought it was a lead singer to Cars. That's why I feel bad.
That's Rick Ocasek you're thinking of.
Yeah, boy, are you way off. Look at that. Rick Ocasek
right,
and
so-
Chris Isaac.
So moving on.
All
So
right.
there's my one mistake of the show. I can only make one.
A car clash.
Yeah, so let's check out the events and what's going on and talk to our guests.
Hey, Doug.
Yo,
Yo.
what's up?
Yo,
Welcome back. It's been so long. So, we got a couple shows, couple people coming to town that you might want to know about. Cher is back in town again. We got the Rockstar Energy Drink Disrupt Festival. You know, Hearts Alive Tour. Rob Thomas, Blink 182. Lil Wayne, Steel Panther, Art Garfunkel, Stryper, Lionel Richie. I mean, it just goes on and on, guys. I mean, you should check your local venues, see if they're playing near you, and go from there. I mean, that's some of the stuff that's happening around town in Tampa Bay.
Indeed. It's not just Tampa Bay, though, all around the country.
Absolutely, it's happening.
So tonight we have in studio with us from the Tampa Bay area and the Tommy Roxx Band, the man himself, Tommy Roxx. How you doing, brother?
Hey, Tommy.
How
you doing?
And let's not forget
Glad
to
to be here.
mention that he's got this great Leonard Skinner tribute band called Nothing Fancy as well. So we got two opportunities to catch. That's double the Tommy Roxx for you right
Yep,
there.
yeah, double
double your
trouble.
pleasure. There you go.
Hey, you just played at Smoking 19 the other night, didn't you?
yes, Saturday
Yeah.
night, Smoking 19 was my birthday party and a whole bunch of other, like you just named, a million June people. That we just had like 20 people there that were birthdays in June and within a week of each other.
Yeah, Shannon was there, so
yeah.
I was hanging out with them just before that, and they all went over there. So I said Shannon was there, and
Yes.
her birthday and stuff. I was hanging out with them before
Yeah.
that, and then they all went over there and stuff. So
And Smoking 19 is a good place. They got a really nice stage, a really great light show. It's one of our favorite places to play in town.
yeah, I
Good
like
people
what
to
they've
work
done
with.
to the place. Actually, it's
Yeah.
I think the whole area's been needing a club like that for a while.
Neat, yeah.
So I'm glad that they turned it into that instead of a strip club like it was.
You know what? I haven't been there for a while since it first opened. I went and got some food there. So the last time I actually saw you play, Tommy, was over at
So
Quaker.
the last time you were there
You
was
know?
when it was a strip club?
So,
The strip club.
no. Anyway, I have to do that deadpan look when they say stuff that makes me go, I just go, no.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, okay, right.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's what you guys, did you have a seat with your name on it in there?
No.
No, as a matter of fact, we were probably working at the auction network, and there wasn't anything happening like that. Well, unless you count that whole strip of Highway 19 there. But other than that,
Yeah.
Boulevard?
yeah.
Oh, are you talking about a 19? Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, when my friends used to go karaoke, they'd go to that bar. It might still be there, that Cactus Charlie's. And they were always out there in front of there, you know. But so I didn't realize that they had. So they've taken over what was that Angels then and really made
Tina's
it
House of Angels.
awesome. Well,
now
I'm
that's a
going to
rock
go
club.
definitely then the next time.
But we
that-
will be back at Quaker Steak, like you said, next Wednesday,
Amazing.
Okay, cool.
July
Nice.
3rd.
Bike night?
The night before, and the next
Yeah.
day's a holiday, so we can make
It's
it
near
a big,
my house, so I'll
big
be
party.
there. I'll be there.
Yeah.
Be there
Very
for
cool
sure.
stuff.
I always like going there to Quaker Steak. It's a good place
Yeah.
to hang out. So
Then the next day, July 4th, we're playing at Whiskey Joe's on the Causeway.
Oh, that's a cool place.
They have us in there each year now on July 4th, and they like our song "Freedom Isn't Free."
Nice.
And they do a red, white, and blue laser show while we're playing that song.
Oh,
Do they?
cool.
And they
Awesome.
do a whole laser show the whole night, and then they did a fireworks course right out there on the bay. So it's been really fun playing there on the 4th.
Very cool. So let's, I wanted to ask you a couple questions because I know you and I were having a discussion before we actually started.
Yes.
And you were telling me that you kind of missed the 80s. So I was like, save that, right? We were talking about we were going to
Right,
save that. So tell
right.
me about that because that was an interesting statement. and I'm
How
kind
much
of
time do you have?
Hey, we got time, Tommy. You're our guest. We're here.
My story, I'll tell you. I won't tell it too long, but it goes all the way back. When I was a teenager, I wanted to be in a band, and I was starting to become friends with musicians and go see bands all the time. And when I was 19, I became a dad. And
Wow.
I had a son who born right after I turned 20. His name's Matthew Philip Douthit. The Philip part is named after Phil McCormick, who recently
Okay,
passed
from
away.
Molly Hatchet.
Yeah.
Right,
I knew
sure.
him way before Molly Hatchet.
That's really cool.
And,
He was, what a nice guy. What an incredibly nice man.
Yeah.
Rest his
So
soul.
by the time, he's a great guy. Oh my God. Yeah, he was the best man at my wedding, and he's my son's godfather, which is why his middle name is Philip.
Wow. Well, I'm so sorry for your loss.
Yeah,
I had the
thank
opportunity to meet him a few times, and he was just such a jolly guy,
yeah.
and he really loved what he did, and he loved his fans. So I really had a lot of admiration for him. Really great guy.
He's a crazy character with a beautiful soul.
Yes. So
But,
so you were a dad in the 80s then, so you kind of.
Yeah, so I became a dad at 20, right after I turned 20, and I went from being just an irresponsible teenage partier to a dad. And then by the time my son was 4 and I was 24, I had 4 children.
Oh my goodness! Look at that.
So this is what was happening during the 80s. I was installing
He
carpet.
was busy.
And building.
Tommy, you were busy in the
getting
80s.
busy.
By the end of the 80s, I had 5 children and had a carpet business with
Oh my
installers,
goodness.
installing carpet, and I had accounts with people like Color Tile and Sears. I just kept growing as my family grew, and trying to find a way to make more money. So then that went through into the 90s, and long story short, I spent all that time doing flooring and raising kids and going to church and got involved in some biker ministry, but music was just in the closet, in the basement, on the shelf with the door shut. And so in the mid-90s, karaoke came out, so I had a little interest in music, and I dabbled with it. I went to see some of my friends' bands play, and they let me get up and sing a song. But I didn't do anything musically really till I moved to Florida,
Wow.
which was in 2003. And that's when I started the Leonard Skinner Tribute Band. I had started one in Virginia, and we only did a couple shows. But when I moved down here, that's when it really got serious about it. And so basically throughout the 80s and 90s, I missed all that. There was bands that were famous that I've never heard of.
That's wild. Well, I guess life kind of makes things busy for you, you know? I mean, I had aspirations to be a singer, and then I had 3 kids, and then that kind of went away. So, and I mean, and it's funny that you mentioned karaoke because I actually karaokeed in Vegas, and I got some pretty good applause there, guys. I was really excited about that.
Did you? All right.
So let's talk about that Leonard Skinner tribute band. You know that is now. I know initially it's called Nothing Fancy.
Right. Nothing Fancy was the name of their third album.
Correct. And I'm a big Skynyrd fan. I love Leonard Skinner. So the first time I actually heard you sing, it was a Skynyrd song. So it was, So it totally made an impact on me. Didn't you have Rocky Diamond in that band at one point? That was from Diamond Gray.
Twice. He was in the band the first time, just a few times, and then he joined full time for about a year, 2014.
Very cool. Very cool. So
I've had a number of Tampa Bay's best musicians in the band over the last 16 years.
So let's talk about the Tommy Roxx Band. When did you actually form that band?
I formed it just as a cover band in when I first started down here, which would be like by 2005. And then I put out an album in 2012-13, right at the end of 2012. And that's where I kind of, from there, having originals and stuff, built more of a, instead of just a bar band, we became more of a concert show band.
Right. Did you find as a vocalist that, I mean, I guess it's really difficult because you get a lot of people that come to your shows before you're really established and they expect to hear all those cover songs.
Right.
And then all of a sudden you've got your original music and you want to introduce it to them.
Right.
Because, and I can't remember the name of your song that I like so much, but there's one where, oh my gosh, I do. It's like the crowd favorite too.
Or what?
Yeah, that's it.
Very
That's
Near
it.
What?
Or what? I love that song. It's a great song for those of you who've never heard it. Very cool
True
song.
story.
Is that, I was going to ask you about it.
It is.
So it's totally a true story. So the thing about that is as an artist, do you find it difficult to introduce those original songs? Was that difficult for you
Well,
to become known as a band with originals versus
It's a
that?
flipping of a coin, and the good thing is we were already established as a cover band that was relatively popular in the Tampa Bay area. So we start playing a couple original songs throughout the night. It's not like if I was to just come out as an original band and say I'm going to play 1 hour of my songs, I couldn't book myself as easily.
Right.
So it was much easier to already be playing these popular songs people want to hear and then play originals throughout it. The flip of the coin part is they're either going to all drift away from the dance floor and start looking the other way until that song's over, or they're going to like it. And we've been very successful with the crowds liking our original songs as much as the covers that we play.
Oh, I love that, or what? It's so fun, and you can tell that the crowd gets into it. So that's a true story for our listeners and our viewers who are not aware of the origins of that song and they've never heard it. Why don't you tell them a little bit about it?
All right. Well, the story in that song starts out with me and a girl in a bar, and I basically walk over and say, "You want to dance with me or what?"
It's a great song.
And so she dances with me, and then she exchanges numbers with me, and says, "Give me a call." And of course, back then I was separated from my first wife, but I still had the carpet business and the kids, so I was busy all the time. And an entire week went by, and I hadn't had time to even think about calling her. So I went back to the same place. It was a Monday night karaoke show, and she was there, and she walked up to me and called me an asshole. for never calling her. True story.
The nerve.
True story. And so I responded, "Well, you going to go out with me or what?" And so we went out, and eventually I asked her to marry me. "Do you want to marry me or what?" And so that's how that song came about.
Oh, so that's how the or what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as soon as
And you can play with that any way you want. You got to blank or what.
I was thinking the best answer is the or what.
Yeah.
I'm sure you were thinking that.
What do you think?
Or what else?
do you
Maybe,
think I
yeah.
meant by that?
I don't know. It could have been anything or what.
Exactly.
Or
I mean,
Or
I
what.
was
Or
just
what were
asking
you
to
thinking?
go out to dinner, right?
Or what. Very naughty. Amanda, you're a saint. That's all I'm
You going
saying.
to watch our show or what?
Are you?
Or what?
Or what? Yeah.
It's a great song.
Are you gonna watch the show or else?
Yeah.
We'll send Scott after you.
Yeah, well, I'm getting so old that it's going to take me a while to get there. You got time to turn on. So
you got some pretty good local guys playing with you and stuff. Rob Bird plays with you every once in a
Yeah,
while.
Rob Bird played with us for years. He recorded all the drum tracks on the album.
Did he? All right, great.
What's that great
Rob's
band
a great
that
guy,
Rob's in with the girl singer?
Den of Thieves.
Okay, I drew
Yeah.
I drew a blank. That's a great band too, Den of Thieves. If you
Yeah,
guys have
love
never
Angie,
checked them
love
out,
all
she's a
of
great
them.
singer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all
yeah, a
those
lot of
guys.
fun.
Yeah, we'll get Raleigh and Angie in here. I was just
Be
talking to them
funny.
about that the other
Oh,
day.
that'd be a lot of
so-
fun. I think she's a really good singer.
Yeah.
I love that she does Hot Cherie because you wouldn't think that a chick would sing that song. And the first time I heard her sing, I think that's what I heard
I
her
just
sing.
like, when she's
There's some people that
Iron
make an
Maiden
impression
and all this other stuff.
like
It's
you. I don't even actually think it was your show that I first heard you sing at,
Oh,
Tommy. I
I was
think
just
I
getting
think it
up
was a
with
place
somebody.
in Tampa, and it was by my sister's house. And I remember you got up and you
Got
did
up to
Skinner,
sing
and my sister and I are Skinner fans, So we were like, wow, that was really great. You
Like
know?
LA Hangout or something?
It might have been. I don't think it's open now. I want to say it started with an M, but I can't remember what it was called. She would know. Murphy's? Was there a place named Murphy's?
I know what you're talking about. It was Murphy something or something
Yeah,
Murphy's
I
or
think that's where it was, and I don't
Right.
remember the band you got up with, but
probably Diamond Gray. Rocky Diamond.
you know what? It might have been.
Yeah.
It might have been. So yeah, so I was really impressed with that. That was really cool.
The thing.
So let's talk about, like Todd was saying, let's talk about the lineup that you have right now in the Tommy Roxx Band. Who's actually in the band? And I got to give a shout out to Doug Lips
Doug
because
Lips.
that's my buddy. So
He's the buddy. He's one half of the Thunder Brothers. He's Doug Lips on bass guitar and Rudy Gorians on drums. They played-
Rudy, oh my goodness.
They played together in a band called Drive for 5 years before joining my band. So
with
it was-
Eddie Rice.
Yeah, it was easy to not have to worry about getting the drummer and bass player to mix. They already blended. So that was nice.
Yeah, I liked Drive Band. I thought they were a
Yeah.
great band.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah,
One
and
of
I
my
liked
favorite bands
Eddie.
to go
I thought they
watch.
were really, really great. I enjoyed them too.
Yeah,
so,
Brian,
and who else do
Eddie.
we got going on in the band?
Okay, so on keyboards, I have Peter John Kane. He's amazing. There isn't a song he doesn't know. We'll be talking about stuff at rehearsal or setting up at a show, and somebody will mention a song out of the blue, and he'll just start playing it. And,
That's awesome.
and then on guitars, we have Tommy Spittle, who's been in a number of bands locally. Rebel Pride was one of them. And then the other guitar player's name is Bill Schmidl. So we have Tom Spittle and Bill Schmidl.
That's
on
what
either side of the
Patricia
stage.
was telling
Spittle and
me.
Schmidl.
Right.
Spittle and
So we always say, if you need an acquittal, call Spittle and Schmidl.
Yeah, that's what she was telling me. You might have Spittle and Schmidl. That's what
Yeah.
she was telling me on the message. So shout out to her for helping hook this up for us. So
Yeah.
we appreciate that.
And
So
it's amazing for me having Bill Schmidl in the band because he was in a band called the Road Ducks out of the
Okay.
Mid-Atlantic area. And they toured from Maine to Key West for years. He was in that band for like 35 years. When I was a teenager and wanted to be in a
Yeah, it's a
band,
long
his
time
band was
being
the
a
band
band.
I went to see play everywhere. And they actually, one of the first bands that ever let me get up and sing a song. So now he lives in Florida and he joined my band, and he also did half the guitar tracks on the album. Brian Jeffries did the other ones.
Brian,
Yeah.
Snow Band, Brian
Yep.
with
He was
Doug.
in the
Yeah,
band
Brian
back then.
Jeffries, great guy.
Yeah.
Really great guy. Used to love
Yeah.
the Snow Band. I used to
Yeah.
think they were
Yeah,
great.
me
What,
too.
Fred, right?
Fred and Brian.
Yeah, great band. Boy, you're bringing back a lot of memories from some great
Yeah.
music in the area, which is really cool. And it's so important what you guys do. And I know these guys agree because they've been doing this for so long themselves, keeping that music alive in the area, live music.
Try.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't believe how many musicians I've had in my band, and then people are telling me, you don't even know who that is. He was in this and such a band 10 or 15 years ago, and they were great. Everybody knew him. And I didn't. I just met him here locally. You know, I felt like the new guy for years, and
Right.
now people say, like you said, a Tampa Bay staple or something, and I think back, I hear people telling stories that are 10 years old, and I'd already been here 6 years. So I've only been here 16. I grew up in Virginia. But now I look back, you know, like I've been here for,
So how long you been
A
playing in
long
the
time.
Tampa area?
say again?
How long have you been playing in the Tampa area?
16 years. I moved here 16 years ago, and I got involved in the first year.
Right away. Yeah.
And
So what?
One of the ways I got involved with those people was through a guy named Dana Piper. I don't know if you ever heard of him. Yeah, you know, and there's a band that travels around here, playing a artist called Rayford Stark. I don't know if you ever heard of him, but kind of a country rock.
Actually, I have not. Yeah,
Great guy.
Surprising.
But he went to high school with me in Virginia.
Ah,
So when I came down here, knowing who he was, I went to go see his band play, and he invited me up on stage to sing a song. Well, Dana Piper was in the back because they were friends, and the guys in his band were from Dolores Telescope, so they all knew each other.
Oh
Yeah, I know all those
yeah,
guys.
yeah.
right.
So I get up on, and we're in a place called City Lights.
Oh, I
which is
remember
down
that
at
place.
66th
Yeah,
Place.
yeah, I remember that place.
So I get up
Oh,
on stage,
yeah.
and as a guitar player, Colin has his microphone stand set
Spent
with a
many a night
boom.
there.
You know, it goes up and has a boom coming back in the mic so he can play guitar and sing. Well, and chords all over the floor. So I picked it up, shook all the cords off the legs, loosened it, straightened it up to like a Ronnie Van Zant style, turned the mic sideways, picked it up, and started singing. And we did "Call Me the Breeze" and "Pride and Joy," something like that.
Cool.
So when I was done, I put it down and got off stage. And Dana Piper goes, "I want to start a band with you. I love the way you just took over the stage like that."
That's amazing.
So, yeah, so
I
that,
do backup vocals.
and then through them, I just started meeting other
Yeah, pretty
musicians.
good, man.
And
I gotta tell
some
you
of the
guys,
best, some of the area's best I've gotten to play with.
Rob Bird has said,
But
"Hey
Piper's
guys."
actually a smoky
Rob.
guitar player,
Hey.
man.
Hey, Rob.
He said, "Hey guys, thanks for the shout out, Tommy. Love
yeah.
you, brother."
Always.
I gotta tell you,
Yeah.
if you guys heard me
I don't know
laugh
where the
out
camera
loud
is.
during this segment,
Remember
Brian O'Brien said, "Pretty white girl, if you're in any danger, blink 3 times."
My.
And my best friend actually
too
popped
funny.
on here. My best friend that lives in Vegas, Laura Scott. She's with Bradley Productions, which puts on some great events throughout the area. She said, "Blink, boo." You know, which is for me. So, Laura Scott, I'm blinking for you. Just one time, because I'm not in danger, Brian. But I totally appreciate you looking out for me. I do.
Blink.
That made me laugh. That was pretty funny.
That was pretty
Yeah,
funny.
That was pretty
now
funny.
on our show outline, blink.
It's a good band name, Blink 3 times.
Yeah, blink 182.
Yes.
And I just had a great time in Vegas with Laura Scott. I got to give her a huge shout out. I got to do it.
Did
Nice.
you get hung over out there at all?
Okay. Are you guys okay with me telling my story?
No,
I'm gonna
we're
do
not.
this
That's
for
why I
Laura. It's gonna be quick. So Tommy, this is what happened. So Laura's like, "Hey Michelle, let's go out." I'm like, "Okay." So we go to Vamped, which is owned by Danny from Counting Cars. You know, the guy
Yes.
that had that show, Danny Count from Counting Cars.
If I would have known you were going out
This-
there, I could have hooked you up with him.
Oh yeah,
Well, not like that.
So anyway, so we went out there. I had 2 tall vodka cranberries. Now, for those of you that don't know, I've had weight loss surgery 9 years ago. It was my anniversary.
Wow.
So I eat very little. I mean, I eat several small times a day. I actually only ate 1 taco that day. So I had 2 Tito's and cranberry tall, and I got the third one, and I told the girl, I can't even taste the vodka in here. So she pours a whole nother shot in there, right? So I was fine. We get in a car with Laura and a friend. We go to a karaoke place called Dino's, and it hit me. The vodka hit me. And I went into the restroom at Dino's, and I come back out, and she's like, "You okay, boo?" And I'm like, "No." And she's like, "Do you want to go take a nap in the car?" I was like, "Yeah." So I went and took a nap in a car, and then her roommate came and picked me up. And it was about midnight.
Yeah.
But she came home at 5. So look at that. Laura, what you doing?
What happens?
Come on,
in
you guys,
Vegas
do it for
stays
Laura.
in Vegas.
Do,
So,
you gotta,
I mean,
you gotta
5
do it for
o'clock in the
Laura.
morning,
Give
no
her the
big deal.
naughty. Come on, that's for
You know-
Laura.
I've been out in Vegas several times, and I mean, I've been out there with a hangover where I would have paid $20 for an aspirin, and I'd say I would have. Guess what? I did. That's how freaking expensive it is out there.
Pay $20.
Yeah, so
it's
that's the
10
story.
bucks. You know, oxygen bar is part of the trick. Go to an oxygen bar. It takes the hangover away. You're drinking immediately. Just what you need.
Never heard of that.
Yeah. I was going to start that here in Florida, but I figured
It's become a big thing in a couple places. I know it's kind of popular in Canada and
I don't know if you had-
Vegas.
it'd be hard to start in a redneck area because you'd be like, I'm breathing oxygen already. Why do I
Yeah.
have to pay for it?
Right.
No, it's
Well, I
like
said that
it's
when water first came out in
concentrated.
bottles. Like, who's going
Water.
to pay
Yeah,
for
exactly.
water?
Who's going to pay
Yeah,
for water? Now
exactly.
everybody
Now
pays for
it's a
water.
$1 billion industry.
Yeah, right. So,
You just got to be the first one to think of that stuff.
what kind of influences you got, Tommy? I mean, what
What kind of what?
what influences you have? You know, what got you into music? I mean, what
Oh.
kind of people were you listening to?
I grew up in the 70s. I went to high school from 76 to 80. And everything, Leonard Skinner, Foghat, Aerosmith, Led Zeppelin, Boston, The Who, Foreigner, Kansas, just all that music was just so amazing. And I loved it. I daydreamed about being in a band. I mean, even when I was younger, like 10 years old, I used to take my dad's tennis racket and pretend it was guitar and play my Beatles records stacked
Nice.
up on a 45 on a little record player where you lift the lid and put the record. And I'd play
Been
my
there.
tennis racket and sing along as if I was John Lennon. So I just always had it in my blood. I always wanted to do it.
Cool. Very cool. I mean,
Yeah.
do you have somebody that you would say is like one of your biggest influences, or is it-
Probably Leonard Skinner,
Okay.
Ronnie Van Zant.
Very cool.
I never got to see them live. They came through D.C. area in '76, and I was 14, and my mom wouldn't let me go to the concert. And
Oh,
they
my
were coming back
goodness.
through in the fall of '77. I was 15, and I was almost had her talked into letting me go, but they didn't make the show.
So I mean, I'm sure you've done your share of gigs and had fun here and there. I mean, do you have any particular gig that you think was like the best? Anyone that stands out that you?
There's a few that stand out. Some of the best ones, Daytona Beach Band Shell is one of my favorite shows to play. We'll
Oh,
be there
that's
this coming.
Are you doing that?
Next Saturday
Cool.
night,
Very cool.
July 6th.
Nice.
You have to give a shout out to my friend when you're over there. She actually helps put those on. Her name's Karen Silas, and she does
awesome.
all those shows at the band shell over the summer, and they have a lot of
So she
great
probably
tribute
knows
acts.
Teresa Cantrell and Dino. And
I'm going
all
to tell her
that.
to look out for you.
Yeah, we're
I
playing Saturday,
absolutely
July
will.
6th, and we usually get 8,000 people.
Nice.
I mean, it's just
Fun.
a sea of
Nice.
people, and it's so much fun to get them going and play all that Leonard Skinner music. And we always play at least one original song of my songs that I wrote, even at the Skinner shows. So we'll have a crowd of 8,000 people, and we'll play "Freedom Isn't Free," and I usually give a little introduction about the reason for the song, and the people are cheering at the end of that as loud as they were for Simple Man. And,
Very cool.
yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's
cool.
really good.
That felt good.
Yeah,
You
for
know.
sure. So do you play any other instruments?
I
Or
play
you
the
just
kazoo and the radio.
All right.
Plays the kazoo.
Oh yeah.
Rock.
Yeah, I always said the only musical instrument I can play is the radio.
Best band that
I
I
tried
ever
to-
heard do the kazoo was Saigon Kick.
Yeah.
Love Saigon Kick.
I tried to
Love
play
those
guitar
guys.
when I was a kid, but I didn't have the patience
You ever heard
to learn. The guy was trying to teach me the scale, and I was like, no, Eddie Van Halen, Eruption. How do you do that? He goes, no, let's start with the scale.
Yeah.
And no, Eruption. I
You
want to play.
gotta crawl before
Yeah,
you
you're
walk,
not
bro.
going to work. You're gonna-
I started out on playing bass, and my cousin got signed up for those dollar or penny albums. Got a 1978, Van Halen sent to me, and I'm like
Right.
playing bass. I'm like, I heard Eruption. I'm like, okay, I want to. This is way cooler, way cooler. I mean,
I blew up quite a few speakers to Eddie Van Halen, Eruption.
oh yeah, oh yeah,
Heck yeah,
for sure,
yeah.
for
You
sure.
gotta crawl before you walk,
Yeah.
man.
So, how about flip side of the coin? I mean, you have great gigs. I mean, you have anything that stands out as a nightmare
Like the
that
worst
you wish
gig
you
ever
never
kind of thing?
ever want to go to ever again?
Oh, probably some of the colder ones. Like there was one that was so cold that I couldn't pick up the mic stand without gloves because
Oh,
it was an
no.
outdoor gig and it was in January. It was like 12 degrees out. Not really, 32 degrees probably.
Just don't touch it with your
Really
tongue,
cold.
man.
Yeah.
Like sick, yeah.
And then
Stuck.
for me personally, playing in smokers bars got to bother me. So I no longer book myself inside smokers bars. We either play theaters, festivals, outdoor shows, or some,
Probably
anything.
better gigs, anyways. I mean,
Yeah.
I could assume that, but I would think they're better gigs.
Just as a singer, it just got harder and harder to breathe in all that secondhand smoke.
Heck
and
yeah.
still,
Sure.
By the third set, my voice was all choppy, and then couldn't. Like if I did that on a Friday night, I'd be trashed for Saturday night.
Yep.
So
Right.
it's not fair to the next venue.
No, not at
I
all.
feel you on that all the way.
We have got some comedians tonight watching the show. I'm just letting you know.
Uh-oh.
So,
Smart ass comment.
oh yeah, Brian O'Brien says he played the skin flute in the Pineapples in college. I gotta say, Brian
Can I ask-
O'Brien,
can I ask
I
a
am
question?
finding you amusing.
Oh,
I am.
is this one
Okay,
of your followers?
It probably is. So
Yeah.
Ashley Taylor says, I just played the field. Laura Scott says,
my
Laura
God.
Scott says, that's my best friend, my
All right, now
boo.
I'm logging
She
in.
says, I'm just a player. Brian O'Brien, I'm not
Oh,
a player.
my.
I just crush a lot. So we got some fun ones watching the show tonight. Maybe they're Tommy's followers. Look at that. And then JD Thunder actually just joined us. So shout out to JD Thunder.
Welcome.
JD,
Yeah.
JD.
Absolutely.
awesome.
Yeah, thanks to all of you for the compliments on the new studio look. Appreciate that. It's our 25th show. special show, so we thought we'd change things up.
And
Actually,
again, I let a lot of money go just to make this happen.
I feel like the lighting is a lot better for me.
It makes you glow.
Oh, that's exactly why we
I'm
did
glowing.
all of
You're
this.
all three
Every
glowing.
bit of this. Had
I,
everything to
I,
do with
so it's not
Yeah,
just
that's
me
everything to do
glowing.
with it.
Everyone's glowing, Tommy. Okay, all right, that's good. That's good.
You're glowing a little more though.
Do I look like I'm glowing?
You glow better.
Thank you.
My-
I'm
Or I
proud.
should say, you glow, girl.
It's rosacea, but thank you.
Oh,
You glow, girl. You glow, girl. All right, so let's talk about.
Start a new saying with that.
So, how many albums have you actually done with the Tommy Roxx Band?
I have one CD out, and I have a whole bunch of songs half written, and we're actually just starting to seriously work on it again to make a second album.
Awesome. They're still doing it. They're killing me on this feed.
It's a good thing I don't get on there, guys. Yeah, it'll
Well,
be
cool,
bad
man.
when we
Let's,
get nothing done the rest of the show.
let's move on to the show poll, and then we're going to play a couple of your videos, brother.
Awesome.
Oh, I
Alright,
can't wait
so
for everyone to
good
see them.
thing. So,
Yeah, it's going to be great stuff.
yeah.
Welcome back.
Hello.
So, what is the best side project someone from an established band has done? The two that we gave you to choose from are Winery Dogs and 6 a.m. So, I mean, I got a couple opinions on this, but let's, instead of me talking first like I always do, what you got, Todd? What do you think, man? What do you think?
Well, I think they're both good, man. You got some phenomenal musicians in both bands, and they all come from some pretty great bands as
Yep.
well. But I had to go with 6 a.m. Nikki Sixx is just a great writer. A lot of people might not realize it, but pretty much every major Motley Crue hit was something that he penned, and that Heroin Diaries in particular from 6 a.m. is about his experience with that and stuff. And, the song, beautiful, just phenomenal song, great album. And I think it's excellent. But they're both great bands, but I picked 6 a.m. So
What about you?
that was a
Michelle?
tough one, actually.
Well, actually, I'm going to give a shout out for this is not my choice, but the Winery Dogs. Mike Portnoy, is that his name? Mike Portnoy? The
Yeah.
drummer's incredible. I
Oh,
mean,
he's
incredible
phenomenal.
drummer. But Billy Sheehan is in
Billy
the
Sheehan
Winery
on
Dogs as well.
bass.
So they're an incredible band, but I'm a chick and Nikki Sixx is hot. So we're picking 6
There
a.m.
we go with that.
because I said
Going
so.
on the high.
How
Here we
about
go.
that?
Now we're going on looks again. He
You
knows
glow, girl.
3 chords. He's got 2
That's
fingers,
right.
but he's
That's
hot.
right.
Back in the 80s, must have long hair and transportation. They couldn't
And look
care
good in makeup.
less. Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't
Maybe I'm
care
not
if-
so bad I missed the 80s.
in some ways you didn't miss the, you got to.
I'd have
The
probably loved
looks
it.
were like more important than being able to play.
Yeah.
Well, that's how it was.
So I feel a little out of the loop because I don't know either of these two bands you're talking about. I heard you say Nikki Sixx is in one of them.
Yeah, 6 a.m. was Nikki Sixx's project after Motley Crue. And then,
So
of course,
who's in each one?
the Winery Dogs has
Mike Portnoy.
Mike Portnoy, drummer
Billy Sheehan.
from Dream Theater. And then you got Billy Sheehan, bass player, has played with David Lee Roth and Steve Vai and stuff. So he's a monster bass player.
So it's all. That's in my opinion.
And then you
It's
got
almost a
DJ
musician's
Ashba
band.
with
More,
6 a.m.
you know what I'm
Right.
saying? You got,
Right.
this guy's badass. This guy's badass.
Oh man.
More?
So let's
Are
get.
you guys?
I gotta tell you, they're funny tonight. So we've got. Let's go back up for our listeners, our viewers' comments. Ashley likes both. Really, Laura Scott, James, and DJ are amazingly talented too. That's 6 a.m. Brian O'Brien. Nikki's got Hep C though. Laura Scott. Laura Scott. I'd still hit it. Laura says,
Still have Hep
I
C.
kid. Brian says tainted. Ashley
I don't
Taylor
know you
says
and I don't believe
it's
you.
Nikki, so you gotta. So there you go. I mean, what are you gonna do? So they're both really great projects, actually. Speaking from a musical standpoint, but I really dug the 6 a.m. album. Actually, I
me
like
too.
I
6
did
a.m.
Me too a lot.
If
And I've seen
wanna
the
say
winery
if I
dogs.
want to be negative about it at all, what's the one negative thing I said when we were watching them? I'm like, where's the harmony parts coming from? I see one microphone on stage. Are we accompaniment, or is there somebody offside singing? I mean, I don't even know if I made it that far.
Maybe they
It was
were
a
the
couple beers,
voices
but-
in your head. That's
No,
what I'm
no,
thinking.
no, seriously.
good
I mean, there was
possibility.
harmony
I'm
parts
thinking.
coming from
I'm
somewhere
thinking.
that wasn't on stage, and it didn't sound like a harmonizer. It sounded like somebody else was singing like backstage or something. But yeah, whatever. I'll probably have to do the same thing because I can't find anybody that can sing either.
Yeah.
Guy has
It
calorie though. I
happens
think he can
sometimes,
do
man,
something.
So you'll have to check those out,
So, yeah,
Tommy.
I mean,
Yeah,
So-
I'm interested in that.
6 a.m. guys is we don't have much time left of this, but I mean they're crushing it. We're looking at 62%. 62% of the people feel
Yeah.
6 a.m.
Totally crushed it.
And I feel it has to do with the other band being more of a musician's band.
Right.
Do you even just take Dream Theater alone? Some people don't even know who that is.
I agree with
Right.
that. Laura Scott actually has seen 6 a.m. Well, she's saying all 3 albums are great and that they have 2 girl backup singers when they play live.
Really,
So 6 a.m. So there you go.
there was 3 people on stage when we saw.
Well, maybe they hit them. Maybe they weren't real cute. I don't know.
Every comment I got is bad. So we're gonna have to move on from here, though, guys.
Cool. So let's step into the spotlight. All right, so we got a couple of videos for you tonight, and they are Tommy Roxx videos. And so we're going to introduce you to some of his music if you haven't heard it and give you that little southern flair. And the first one we're going to rock out for you is called Freedom Isn't Free. So why don't you tell us about that, Tommy?
The song?
Yeah,
And the video.
and the video.
Okay, actually, I wrote that song on a trip back home to Virginia. I was in the passenger seat, and I just had these ideas just started coming to me. And basically, the premise is we live in a very divided time in this country. I'm white, you're black, I'm left, you're right, I'm Republican, you're Democrat, liberal, conservative, whatever you want to, there's anything you want to, you can divide over. And the concept of the song is people died for our right to be free in America and live free in America, and we should be concentrating more on what we're united, what unites us instead of what divides us, because people paid a price for that freedom.
Right.
So that's basically what that song is about.
And that's very fitting with the 4th of July coming up as well to
Heck
play
yeah. Heck yeah.
to play your video for that. I actually had the honor of doing the honor flight recently, and so it really opens your eyes and it makes you so appreciative of the sacrifices that our servicemen
Yeah,
and
the video
women have
portrays
made.
that pretty-
So that's
pretty
great. We're looking forward to
nicely.
seeing that.
Nice. So looking at that camera right there, brother, and introduce it.
Introduce the video?
Yeah.
Live from New York, it's Tommy Roxx, Freedom Isn't Free.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Whatever happened to the land of the free? Well, there's differences between you and me. The things you do, the things you got, the things you like that I might not. Well, I may not like some things you do, but mark my words, this much is true. I said you got a right to be that way. That's a right I'll defend till my dying day. Now you may not like some things I do, but listen here, I'm an American too. And really now, who the hell are you to tell me what I can't say or do? Now, brother, I think we can all agree that your freedom should not hurt me. But if it don't, well, I can't see why we have such a thing as a victimless crime. Land of the free, because of the brave, from purple mountains to the amber wave. Give me liberty or give me death. I love my freedom till my dying breath. Freedom isn't free. Freedom isn't free. Freedom isn't free. Now freedom isn't free. Freedom isn't free. Freedom isn't free. I said freedom isn't free. Now freedom isn't free. Well, many a loved one has fought and died to protect what we call American pride. We're brave, we're strong, we're true and free. But yet we can keep our individuality. So if you don't like what happens behind closed doors, then brother, I'll mind mine, you mind yours. We can even agree to disagree. Yet I'll still love you. Can you still love me? Land of the free, because of the brave, from purple mountains to the amber wave. Give me liberty or give me death. I love my freedom till my dying breath. Freedom isn't free. Freedom isn't free. I said freedom isn't free. Now freedom isn't free. Well, all gave some, and some gave all. I said all gave some, and some gave all.
So there you go, Tommy
Awesome.
Roxx. And
Thank you.
freedom isn't free.
That's a message I feel needs to be heard nationwide. I wish somebody would pick it up nationally.
Yeah, a lot of moving images.
Even if a famous artist took the song and redid it. wouldn't have to be me, but I'd love to see that song out
Get
there.
that message out there.
Yeah, no doubt.
And Ashley Taylor says she loves the song "Man Rocket."
Awesome.
Oh yeah, so getting some.
Anybody
comments
else in the
there.
chat room have any questions for Mr. Tommy here?
Oh, there you go.
We had a lot
Let's
of
take
great,
a call.
a lot of great
I don't
visual
know, folks.
images in that video. I liked.
Absolutely.
Good stuff.
Excellent.
Yeah, really good stuff.
Thank
Hey, you know
you.
what? I think we forgot to ask you a question because you and I had talked earlier. This is something I want to say. I want to ask Tommy.
Then
Look
you
at,
say it.
I'm doing the finger.
You can't.
So we were talking about bands and we were talking about local musicians. And Tommy, you actually told me that you did some work with Todd LaTorre
Yes.
from Queensryche, who actually was a drummer before he was the vocalist of
Yes.
Queensryche. So why don't you share that with everybody? Because that's pretty cool.
Well, at one point in the phases of different musicians that have been with me as Tommy Roxx went over the years, I had Matt Laporte call me up and want to get together and play guitar. So because he heard I was looking for in need of a guitar player. So we started putting the band together, and he goes, "I got a perfect drummer," and so he brings in Todd LaTorre, who I'd never met before, and so he came in to play drums, and he also sang. He did like "Perfect Lover" or "Perfect Strangers," Deep Purple. I think it's "Perfect Stranger." Yeah.
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 "Perfect Lover" is Kansas. So that's how I met Todd, and we played a few shows together where Matt Laporte was on guitar and Todd was on drums, and we played Carly's, we played Grass Flats, stuff like that.
Carly's. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. I remember that
Nice.
Grass Flats too. That's really
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, Kirk and Belinda. Belinda's another June 24th birthday,
Well, there you go. Happy birthday.
and my
there.
guitar player Tommy Spittle, 24th.
Everyone's birthday's in June except for
You want to see
mine.
Matt
And
Laporte with short hair?
There you go.
That's what I've been told I look like.
Put it back on. Then you know who you are. Put the glasses back on. Tom Arnold.
Oh no! But it was a great honor to
Yeah,
Hey
to
there,
play with
Tommy.
those guys.
don't worry.
I
And
could
then
have
he-
been worse. I could have said Drew Carey.
No big deal. No big deal.
And Matt Laporte got Todd the gig with Crimson Glory, because I remember when we were playing with our band is when it was happening, and he used to go Todd LaTorre from Crimson Glory, and kind of
Oh, yeah.
If you knew Matt Laporte, he's just a
Yeah,
huge
Matt.
sense of humor and tease so and then from that of course Todd went on to get the Queensryche gig.
He's doing
I'm so
fabulous
excited
today.
for him.
Me
I mean
as
he's
well.
totally living the ultimate epitome of rock star.
Absolutely. And
absolutely.
he's just a great fit for the band. And those were some big shoes to fill, and he fills
Yeah.
them quite well.
Some
So it's
very
really
big shoes to fill.
The epitome of
Stretch a
excellence.
little bit.
He did an excellent job.
absolutely,
He's
absolutely.
just
Love their new
killing it.
album, The Verdict. If
Oh,
you
that's a
guys haven't
great
heard it,
album.
check
Yeah.
it out. It's
Yeah.
really
Very
good.
impressive.
And I'm going to give a shout out here to Heather Vallone, who is my sister in rock, who has absolutely
Hi,
helped
Heather.
us out. And she is actually hosting a watch party right now so that everyone can check out Tommy
Oh,
Roxx
cool.
and
Cool.
Scott's comedy show over there in the corner. So love you, Heather. Shout out to you.
Extra hours. The pay-per-view starts after the show. It's only $3.99 a minute. Probably only gonna take you a minute.
I don't even want to know.
I
what's
only
in
need
that
2
pay-per-view.
minutes.
You better leave with 2 minutes. You get a discount. If you make it 3 minutes, you get a record. Anyways,
So we got another song for you from Tommy tonight. It's called Unleash the Freak, and this one's got a special guest in it, so why don't you tell us about that?
This is Dr. Paul Bearer, and
nice.
Dr. Paul Bearer was making a movie for Halloween last year, 2018, earlier,
Right.
like February, March, earlier the year, and they were looking for actors, and somebody called me and said, "We need people. Can you do it, or will you do it?" So I went out there, and it was to play a cowboy in an old west town, and there's the place over here in Parrish, Florida area,
Right.
Ah,
where
Parrish.
it's a real actual, deserted town.
Right.
And so we were going to be ghosts, right? And Dr. Paul Bear was playing cards with ghosts, and my brother and I were dead, but he could see us, and the real alive people couldn't. He could see all the ghosts, but nobody else could. So we're playing poker, and he accuses my brother of cheating, and I pull a gun out and I shoot him, and that's how he gets his scar. Because this is back in the 1800s, so it's the backstory to the scar that Dr. Paul Bear has
Oh,
always
right.
had.
Oh, very cool.
Right.
Yes,
So
I
now,
remember.
and I was nicknamed Skinnerd as the ghost cowboy. So
Nice.
I was Skinnerd in this movie and shot him, and that's the backstory of his scar. So he was listening to my CD, and he picked our song "Unleash the Freak" to play at the end of the movie as the credits are rolling.
Nice.
So he came out to a couple of our shows and got up on stage with us and did the shuffle slide, which is a dance we do in the middle of that song, with us, and they put that in the video at the end of the song.
Cool.
Cool.
Is that
Very cool.
Michelle that called you?
Say again?
Was that Michelle that called
Yes,
you?
yes, absolutely,
Yeah,
Michelle.
Been friends with her
Yep.
for a long
And I also got to act with Butch Patrick,
Yeah,
who
Butch
played
Patrick.
Eddie Munster. He
Oh,
was in that
sure,
movie
Eddie
as well.
Munster.
I was supposed to actually
Yeah.
do some cameras for that shoot, but they had postponed it and put
Oh,
it to
okay.
another day, so I
Yeah,
wasn't
it's
able
called.
to
By
make
the
it.
way, it's called High Noon. Goodbye, Dr. Paul.
Well, everyone check that out.
Cool.
That's
Yep.
cool stuff. So, big shout out to Dr. Paul Bear. Man, you know what? My dad used to scare the
Dr.
hell out of me
Paul.
when that creature
Oh, yeah.
feature would come on. He would do that laugh, and I would go running. I mean,
Oh,
but
no.
that was a staple in our
Well, we're gonna-
childhood.
We're
You
gonna
know,
Do a
get him in
shout
the
out to-
studio here soon.
I would dig
Shout
it.
out
That'd
to
be
my
amazing.
drummer Jeff Rytel. He likes him too. So it's another
Yeah.
bonus.
There's no use
Another
running
bonus.
because he'll be lurking for you.
I know that was right. Oh my God, it was so right. My dad would do that laugh and stuff, and I would just get so scared, and then, you know, he would get a big kick out of that. So.
Right. Awesome.
Well, Michelle handles all his publicity and stuff, and she's a really
Yeah.
good friend of mine. So.
Yeah.
I keep
And
thinking
she
he's
did all
talking about
most of the
me. I was
filming
like,
for
I
that.
do?
Yeah.
And the editing.
I keep thinking you're talking about me. I'm like, I do.
We should try to get him on here for like a Halloween show or something.
Yeah, she said he'll come in. He's already said he would, so we'll definitely get him around
Cool.
Halloween. He gets pretty busy around Halloween though.
I'll
So-
flatten the tires
Yeah.
in his hearse.
All right, look at that camera
Rock
again.
and
Introduce
roll.
this one, brother.
All right. Unleash the Freak featuring Dr. Paul Bear and the Tommy Roxx Band. Right here.
We got the work all done, gotta get a freak on. We gonna have some fun. We gonna dance all night, gonna feel alright. We gonna get her done. Shuffle slide to the left, shuffle slide to the right. We can rock it, we can roll it, baby, don't you know it? Unleash the freak. Well, you can hop it, you can bop it, baby, don't you stop it. Won't you come on down? You can fake it, you can shake it, baby, don't you break it. Won't you gather around? Shuffle slide to the left, shuffle slide to the right. Well, we can rock it, we can roll it, baby, don't you know it? Unleash the freak. And as I look across that floor and watch those people dance, I know we're gonna have some fun tonight. We gonna boogie woogie, Well, if it makes you smile, you can use your own style. Set your spirit free. We gonna dance all night, gonna feel alright. Oh, won't you try it with me? Shuffle slide to the left, shuffle slide to the right. Well, we can rock it, we can roll it, baby, don't you know it? Unleash the freak. Well, you can hop it, you can bop it, baby, don't you stop it. Unleash the freak. Well, you can fake it, you can shake it, baby, don't you break it. Unleash the freak. Yeah, baby, you know I like it when you get freaky.
Lurking for you.
when you get a little freaky.
That's awesome.
Gotta love
was a good
that.
one.
Gotta love that. Dr. Paul Barrett in there. That's great, man. That's pretty cool to have him on that. We appreciate you being in on this show tonight, brother. Thank you so much for coming in. So what do you got going on? Anything around town here or in the state?
Yeah, we got a bunch of shows coming up. We do have that one song. Eventually, the movie's going to come out. We have a song called "Who in the Hell" that's in the soundtrack of a movie called Nation's Fire. It's a biker movie featuring Bruce Dern and Krista Grotti and a bunch of other people. It's kind of looking forward to that hitting the streets. But we're playing around town. We're playing Clearwater, Tampa, Daytona Beach Band show. We're playing down at Caddy's on the beach, doing a Skinner tribute, a tribute to Leonard Skinner on July 20th, I think it is, at Caddy's on the Treasure Island. Yeah, I got some. We're playing River's Edge on the 27th for the Born to Ride Great American Biker Bash. A bunch of cool stuff.
Yeah, Caddy's is awesome, man. If you're not from around here and you ever come to Tampa Bay area, and you should go to Caddy's right on the beach and beautiful. I love that.
Sunset there is just
Sunset's
spectacular.
It's amazing. You know, it's the coolest place to go like during the day. I mean, you can valet your car. You give them a little tiny tip, they'll find you a chair.
Right?
Yeah, you can't beat that.
They got good food and drink.
Food's
and,
great.
And
great music.
Yeah.
awesome beach and always good
You
bands.
can valet your car pretty much anywhere. I mean, I usually just put a sign around my neck that says valet. I can stand in front of places, people giving their keys, give me tip money.
Give me money, I'll park your car.
I had that happen once, and then the guy told me we don't have valet.
Really?
Yeah, like it,
There we go.
but I just gave my key. Oh.
My car just disappeared.
You didn't give him the Porsche, did you? He loves Porsches.
Yeah.
He's not coming back. It's like, oh, shit.
So thanks so much, Tommy Roxx, for
Very
being
cool.
on the show.
Thanks for
tonight.
having me.
Appreciate you.
I
Yeah, we
appreciate it.
appreciate you,
So-
Tommy. Thank you so much.
So I am taking a vacation for the upcoming 4th of July weekend. I will not be here on Tuesday the 9th. So what we are going to do with that, we're actually going to do another show next week and on the 2nd. And then we're going to resume doing every other Tuesday. And we'll be back on July the 16th, which happens to be
You know what?
one day before my brother's birthday.
Wish we had a little bit more time to prepare for this, because we could have taken a vote and we could have done the show without you. Me, Michelle, and Doug.
Yeah, good luck with that.
yeah, I don't think that would
No.
work.
Oh, it'll work.
I wouldn't think that would work since I do about 95% of the work for the show.
You know what?
Actually, the
I
reason
think-
why
I
it
think
wouldn't
will.
work is because
Well, it'd be
we need
taken
him to
off the air.
censor Scott and I, and it would be taken off the
And
air
I'm also
right now.
the only person that knows how to set up everything in here.
Okay, that's a good point. That's a good point.
So
So
we'll
Tom's
post information
positioned
soon.
himself.
Yeah.
We need
Pretty
him.
good. I'm needed. I can't be fired.
However, we could do like all the other podcasts and just scrunch in front of the little laptop and go, "Hey guys, I want to say hi to Joe and whatever your name is. I don't know who you are."
Yeah, you can use the
Do all
little
that good
camera
stuff.
on your laptop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do they do that?
You can do a selfie show.
Yeah.
No, I would do that.
And there'd be a banner. It'd
You
be a
would.
banner across the top for a co-host to take top off, $200.
Goodness.
I could definitely see Scott doing that.
I know. I got $3, guys. Here
Were
it
they
comes.
talking about you taking your
I'm
top off?
If I could get $200 for my top off, I'd do it.
I'm getting ready to
There's no
blink
way
3
in
times,
hell.
Brian O'Brien. I'm getting ready to do that.
You click your heels together and see if that helps.
Yeah,
because
three.
you're stuck
I've
here, man.
always got your back.
I know you do. I totally know it. But you know what? I sometimes we probably need you to censor us because I know we get out of control a little bit. Yeah, a little crazy. Scott,
It's all right.
he's like boxed
Makes it
in the
fun.
middle of us
Yeah.
with the stuff that we go. And I didn't even give you a Michelleism today, but I'll spare you. I'll give you 2 next week. Just for that. That would be interesting stuff. So
I'd give Scott isms, but it's gonna be our last show. Every time it's gonna be like, all right, just he'll never ever say that again. I promise. The FCC actually they don't regulate us yet.
Not the internet. No.
sometimes I don't know what Scott's talking about, but I
regulated.
just laugh
You
anyway.
know, I don't even know what I'm talking about
So
half the time.
I'm gonna repeat this from a previous show. If anyone wants to contact Scott, just go ahead and dial 1-800 Scott's got that ass.
Oh, my God. Or you could just text me through Facebook, and we can talk like normal people. Jesus.
So,
Louise. Jeez,
as you can
Louise.
see in the camera shot there, over here in the corner, we got this shelving unit, and we got some stuff up there, which is some health items. Okay, criticallinkhealth.com. Eric, great guy, and if you're looking to improve your health, he's working with me and helping me on some stuff, which is great. Those are some awesome products, and
eventually he's
got
going
some
to give me
CBD
products so I can give you my opinion too.
Yeah, exactly. That's the whole point. So he's kind of sponsoring us, and go to criticallinkhealth.com and put in sound effect, and you can get a discount on any of those products. So if you're looking to better your health and you're interested in that, they're all plant-based products and all natural, healthy stuff. So check it out, especially if you work out or anything like that. So, but good stuff, man. We appreciate that. We appreciate Bake More Pies and Cords for hooking us up with that as well.
And most importantly, I want to thank our guest,
Thank you.
Mr. Tommy Roxx.
For sure.
My pleasure.
Yeah, appreciate you being on the show with us again, man. Thanks so much. Thanks to Bake
Thanks
More
for Bake More
Pies.
Pie Studio for having us. I mean, obviously, if it weren't for them, we would be on a street corner. There'd be a candle. It'd be like, Michelle, do you got a light?
Yeah.
We would be doing it on the stupid camera on the
It would be
computer.
It wouldn't be near as effective.
No.
It wouldn't be near as effective. And it's so hard to get all the guests around the computer.
Yeah.
Especially when
Yeah, everybody's peering in.
Everyone's
Now,
crouching
you have a
in front
great
of the
studio
computer
here.
and all this stuff, right? So this is the point in the show where I give a shameless plug for myself. So lucky you. So anyway, be sure to check out my show on Thursdays on Rock Rage Radio, Shaking the Rafters with Michelle. It's an interview show. I have different guests every week. This week I've got Inga Rudin from the incredible band from Nashville, Lola Montez, joining me on the show. Inga and I can talk. So it's going to be fun stuff.
Oh, you guys are both girls then, huh?
Duh.
Duh.
Yeah, we are. And Inga's got a
Both
cool
of
little
us can
backstory.
talk.
I've talked to her before, and I've seen her band. They're amazing. They got a brand new song out called Monster, so check that out. But I had no idea she was Eric Brittingham's ex-wife until we were talking. So she's got that musical connection, but it's gone. But she's an incredible entertainer in her own right. So that's going to be Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Pacific. Go to rockrageradio.com where you can listen directly or download our app for free. So thanks so much.
Yeah, be sure to visit our website at thesoundeffectshow.com. That's A-Effect, as you can see right behind me. You can see previous shows there, find out what's coming on in the coming up on the show calendar, and while you're there, be sure to click on the links to visit our social media pages and add us, like us, subscribe to us, all that good stuff. Thanks so much for watching. We will be seeing you next Tuesday, July 2nd at 8 p.m.
Hey, closing out the show tonight, it was my turn. I have chosen tonight's new music showcase. And I'm a little biased for this band, and I thought it was kind of fitting since we had Tommy Roxx as our guest, and he's a great Southern rocker. So, love these guys. Every Mother's Nightmare, the Memphis Boys. It's an incredible band I love from the 80s. They got a brand new single and video out. It's called The Southern Way. We're going to play it tonight. That is from actually an album that is a reissue on High Vol Music. It's called Backtracks.
So
And that's
reissue.
coming out. Yes, and it actually was going to be their third release on Arista, and it ended up not quite getting the backing it should get. So Bill Chavis from High Vol Music has re-released it. They've repackaged it. It's got some bonus tracks on it. Great stuff coming out from Every Mother's Nightmare. They're also working on a brand new album, a follow-up to Grind. They also re-released another album called Smokin' Delta Voodoo on High Vol Music. Go to highvolmusic.com where you can find links to all of this stuff. But this video was actually filmed in Maryland, and we were actually present at this video filming. So it's got a little dear place in my heart, even though you can't see us.
Were you present physically?
Yes,
or
yes, I
mentally
was.
too?
No.
Okay.
Okay. I had a
The
couple
honesty
cocktails.
is
Sorry about
here.
that.
The
But I
honesty
didn't
is
go
here.
nap in the car, so I was present. Yeah.
Very cool. Hey,
Yeah. So shout out to Every Mother's Nightmare, my buddies. So want to share this video with you guys, The Southern Way. Check them out.
I thought you were going to say something.
Oh, I got plenty to say, but
Yeah,
we
he
want to get
does.
done before
All right.
like 11. So
Say goodbye.
we appreciate you guys. Thanks again for Tommy coming in the
Yeah,
studio.
Thanks so much, Tommy Roxx.
Appreciate
You're
it.
amazing.
Thank
Tommy
you.
rocks.
Tommy does rock.
Tommy does rock.
Good night.
to live off the land. And everything I got I built with these two hands. And I worked from Mississippi into the hills of Tennessee. From the West Virginia coal mines and every part in between. You know what I mean. Around here we take things day by day. To our God we pray. It's just a southern way. Working like the devil to keep our families fed. Now we believe in this country and we stand tall with pride. We're living for a feeling, something money just can't buy. Say hello to the southern way. No better feeling can deny it. Around here we take it day by day. Until our God we pray. It's just a southern way. My brother's rowing cotton in that Mississippi heat. Well, it does what it can to keep its children off the streets.